Okay. All right. What is up, everyone? Good evening. Cosmic Chris Reid with you. Fingers crossed. I think we all got this figured out here. Jeff Melkars, how's it going?
Are we working? Can you hear me?
We are. Yeah, I can hear you. You can hear me. Is this the first in 4 or 5 weeks we've managed to pull this off?
This is unbelievable. I will. By the time we get out of quarantine, man, I mean, no one's going to need to talk to us anymore.
Totally. Hey, if you're just tuning in, you can also sync this show with WDWN Tunes. We're playing music and doing radio segments again because we got this a little bit more figured out now. I seem to have the bandwidth, I think, to pull this off.
You look good today, man. Well, seriously.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I think we got some good stuff here happening. So listen to N Tunes because we'll be recording show segments on that as well. Hey, yeah, everyone seems to be happy about that. Hey, thanks so much for joining us. Jeff, how was the week?
Oh my heavens. I feel like, did I talk to you yesterday or did I talk to you a week ago? I don't even know, man. I mean, there's the joke around the house, I suppose. It isn't even really a joke anymore because everybody thinks like it's just not funny anymore, but it's like every day it just feels like the same. I should show everyone here. We actually are fostering a dog. How did I not bring him in? We're fostering a dog, which kind of broke things up a little bit. We'll reveal. His name is Diesel. We've already decided maybe to change it. Actually, I would love favorite Disney names in this room, in the chat room. Because I mean, we were going to go very basic with Mickey because the dog is named Diesel, and that's just not going to work. But we're just fostering. But we're gonna change it anyways. How about you? How's Canada? It's been about 80 degrees here. We had tornadoes. You're probably still having snowstorms.
You know what? Yeah, well, we did get a little bit of falling snow today, which is crazy for this time of year. It's not sticking, but it's just falling, and it's kind of annoying. And the river's flooding, and we're in a pandemic. And I mean, life just is right now.
So I got a smile on your face, man. All right, I like.
Yeah, well, you have to.
Not gonna let this get us down. Chat room. All right.
No, for sure. So, hey, yeah. So, like I said, sync this with NTunes. Go to WDWNtunes.com because we will be recording some clips now and then. I will try to keep on schedule on that. But we do have music from like Reflections of Earth coming up. Tapestry of Nations. Jeff, we were talking about that on Twitter, and someone threw it out there and said it was one of the best parades they have ever seen with some of the best music in Disney parks. And I think that holds true. What about you?
I definitely would have to agree with that, and I think was it Jennifer? I'm sorry, that just happened. Jennifer, I believe,
it was
Twitter about that. And I know Michael in the chat room. I know Drew. Everybody has like the reasons, right? Everybody knows the behind the scenes reasons. So if anyone knows, please chime in. But it's to date one of my favorite parades. I mean, I always thought it was crazy because I realized it gets a little narrow, you know what I mean? And I kind of even love the behind the scenes wizardry of the way they got set pieces in and out, and there were duplicate sets and things like that. But I mean, I thought the music was incredible. And I always loved that about Epcot, man. The music there is so incredible for the parade. And it was really just a one-of-a-kind thing, you know what I mean? I don't want to say you've seen one parade, you've seen them all, but you can do so much at Magic Kingdom, and this was just unbelievable. It's still to this day one of my favorites.
Yeah, I see David on the YouTube chat as well saying the music in Tapestry of Nations is great. Yep, no kidding. It definitely holds up. It's memorable. I'm glad they threw it in Epcot Forever. That was a surprise to me, along with all the other stuff, but that was really cool. So we'll be playing that and a ton more tunes as well. This or that this week. So Disney's releasing their own recipes, which I think is really cool. Actually, Walt's Chili is now online as well from the Disney archives. You see that? Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I saw the
chili, so I was like, I'm actually going to your, what was your this and that? This or that? Let's go.
Yeah, so it was so they released the recipes for Dole Whip and for the churro. And so I said, which will you make first, the churro or the Dole Whip? And at last check, Dole Whip was just like crushing it 60 something to 30%, but not really surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Dole Whip is my thing. I remember when that came out, and it was kind of like everybody was posting in the Disney communities, and it was like the Dole Whip. Here's the Dole Whip recipe. Hold my beer or whatever, and they were just like running. I'm just gonna leave this here because I mean it's legendary. What's if you went to Disney and didn't get a Dole Whip, did you actually really go to Disney? I'm pretty sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Curious. No kidding. Well, yeah, you sit out on the Trader Sam's terrace there, and you can get one of those. Is it like the spiky pineapple or something? It's got the rum poured all over the pineapple Dole Whips. Great, great drink, which I miss. And you know what? Let's. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. It always used to be it was my Run Disney. Like if I would do the Run Disney races, it was my Run Disney kind of like reward to myself, along with everything else that you eat. That's such a silly thing to say, but it's like they always say it's like when you would do the wine and dine, everybody's holding those signs, and it's like, hey, you just burned 1,200 calories, and I'm like, I could get those back in about a half hour at the Food and Wine Festival. So, anyways, curious what people think. Dole Whip and the churros.
Totally. Yeah. So let us know. That poll is open on Twitter at Cosmic Reid if you want to get in on that. We run it for another hour or so. I mean, if there's enough of you, churros could crush the competition, but you got to get on that now and tell your friends. So I want to recap a little bit of a thing that happened on Friday night. We had the first ever Disney digital dance party right here on WDWNT and on YouTube as well, chatting with so many of you and playing like crazy Disney remixes. And it was just a feel-good 2 hours, lots of fun, everyone talking all things Disney and staying really positive in this crazy time of uncertainty and surrealness that we're all feeling. And we have been for what feels like forever now. But I want to give a shout out to everyone who's listening to that on Ntunes and also in the chat here, because it was a 2 hours. I was kind of like, that's a long time to fill, but no, it went great. It went great, man. It was fun. Yeah.
Yes. I popped in two or three times. We had a little bit of a Zoom meeting for the ladies' birthday. So that's what everything has been relegated to, right? Like these little parties. And I couldn't sell in on the Disney dance party. It was kind of more back to what Drew was saying. If we had Dole Whip, that would have been great, but we kind of just had the rum. So if you do it again, we'll be there with you. But we were there with you in spirit, and it sounded great, man. And I think Friday night is just it was a great way to kind of start the weekend. So thank you to everybody that hung out with Chris on this thing, man. It's awesome.
Totally. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I suspect we will do that again sometime. Nothing is quite scheduled for that yet, but we'll see. And if you're just joining us in the YouTube chat, go listen to WDWNT. That is where we are playing Disney Park music all hour. Actually, we play it 24/7, but we're specifically playing cool tracks this hour, and we're recording some breaks on them. We're going to try that right now. We've never actually tested this in a long time, so. Let's Jeff. I was
going to say, Chris, things were going too smoothly. Let's screw it up. Go ahead. Take it away.
Exactly. When things go this good, we must try things that we've never done in weeks, and without testing it. So, hey, I want to shout out to Mandy, Super Bowl champs, Drew, Jeff. Oh, that's you. Vader, Michael, Angelina's in there. Yeah, Disney music is warming my heart. Good to hear it. Awesome. Love that. So let's try this, Jeff. Let's see what happens. Okay, we're gonna record this. It's gonna play on Ntunes for the good people that are listening to us. We're gonna be coming out of We Go On, Reflections of Earth. I've been calling this the backside of radio.
Yes.
Because people are getting the backstage view and stuff and on how this goes on. So let's see what happens. Yep.
Go on.
And going into Pizza Safari, let's keep this about a minute or so.
Sure.
We're gonna try this and see what happens. All right. From Reflections of Earth, we go on right here on WDWNT on Cosmic Reid Live. I am Cosmic Chris Reid with Jeff Melkars. Jeff, how's it going?
Hey, it is going fantastic. And if you don't mind, if I can just shed one small tear for my absolute favorite show, please, if you could share one with me, it would be great. anyone listening and yourself, Chris. But that's just the show. I saw that show triple digits, and there's no more powerful ending than the ending of Illuminations of We Go On, still to this day. Come at me, bro. I don't know.
Totally agree. Such a just a powerful tune, and one that we will always cherish in our heart. And I mean, if you missed it, wow, you really missed out on that one. We have lots of good Epcot music coming up. Tapestry of Nations, as we've been chatting with. You can also join us in the chat at youtube.com/WDWNT. Adventureland music on the way right now. We go to Animal Kingdom with some music from Pete Safari. It's Whale of a Tale on WDWN Tunes.
I feel that was
there. We go. Bro. I feel like it was too, and I guess the listeners can be the judge here.
Friends, I was that smooth friends? Lie to me. I'm an only child.
There you go. So we'll get this smoothed out. This is what we tried on Friday with the dance party as well, and it seemed to go very, very well, I think. And yeah, looking forward to doing that again. Jeff, your couch is glowing. Your couch is glowing.
Do you love this? Do you like that? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. And Drew's our resident lighting technician here. But let's see here. You feeling that? I was feeling because I got Wally. Look at that. I got light Wally up right there. Nice. Yeah. No, we love that stuff. A little bit of ambiance, if you will. That's what I do
I like it.
My films. But yes, it reminds me back to Illuminations. I'm just a big fan of all of that. So you're doing well. Everybody in the chat room is doing well on week 4 or 5. I love that. If I can just give you a little, because we're doing the backside of radio, right? If I can give a little bit of an indication of how this whole show I thought was supposed to go. We were like, Chris comes and he's like, Jeff, man, let's hop on and do this radio thing and talk about all the great things happening at Disney and the rumors and everything that's happening. And we talk about it. And I'm like, okay, man, I'm just going to Spain. I'll be back. And then, you kind of try it out. And then by the time I got back, the world was like shut down. So we have yet to be able to talk about Disney rumors and plans and all of those things. And we're just all hoping to get back into the place for the love of all that is holy. But thank you for everyone who has a lot of names that I've seen now for 4 or 5 weeks that haven't given up on it. So when this thing opens up, Chris and I are going to be all over it. Let me tell you.
Totally. Yeah. No kidding. I mean, and the 50th. I mean, let's hope we can get in there for the 50th. Are we right?
Are we right? I mean, we have these delusions of grandeur that I've had. I mean, I with you, I was going to be like, let's talk about a countdown and things like that. I mean, there were so many, this day in Disney history. It's like, I just want to be able to go back and kind of relive all of those things, because there's a story literally for every day of the year. Something Disney related has happened, and all of these plans that was supposed to be going on for the 50th, so many new attractions. Like, are they going to,
Yeah.
The people who actually were able to get on the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Rail, it was open for like 3 weeks. It's insane.
I know.
What I mean? It's unheard of.
Yeah, that's crazy. And even some of the merch that just came out like right around that time as well, it could be considered limited at this point anyway, because it's not on Shop Disney, some of it, most of it. So who knows? It's a weird situation. And when we talk about that stuff, the big news that broke this morning was that Bob Iger is taking the CEO role back and responsibilities back. Bob Chapek is still CEO, but Iger's
right.
All 5 weeks. I mean, come on, the guy's first week on the job, or first day on the job, and the Jungle Cruise, the boat sank. Remember that? So,
he hasn't had he basically, it would be like that guy who's making a lot more money than I'll ever make, mind you. But that guy's first day on the job was kind of like when you and I were talking about doing a radio show, and then
Yeah.
and then the world
Yeah.
and then the world coming to a screeching halt. But yeah, I
That's
mean,
right.
think what you will about Bob Iger, and somewhere from trickle down theory, I know that I was paying double for my annual pass than I was. Before he showed up. But he kind of straightened some things out, man. I mean, their theme park divisions were, having some issues. And I mean, up until whatever's happening right now, I know everybody on here has heard the whole, the rumors that even Apple's kind of sniffing around with just the way, these major media companies are just hemorrhaging money in a time like this because they weren't prepared. And again, you're talking about this news that broke about Iger. He's talking. I don't know if you read the New York Times or it was New York. Was it Business Insider or New York? Times, whoever did it.
New York Times, I think. Yeah.
I don't remember saying that. When you say I don't remember saying something, real good chance you said it. So Bob talking about making the mouse house a little bit leaner, and you've got to assume that people are thinking about that. Just in the mere fact that so many of their executives and people, I'm not talking theme park workers, but I'm talking marketing and the Hollywood outside in LA. I mean, what do you need all that office space for when you've actually been running a company pretty well, all things considered, for 4 weeks? I mean, you just saw they moved Pixar movies back and things like that. I mean, obviously things are in flux, but for the most part, the jobs are getting done. So, I mean, I think when we look in the rearview mirror, the world of Disney is going to look very different in a couple of years. Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. I hope for the better as well. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. I mean, that's a big story that broke, and I can't wait to watch WDW News Tonight this Thursday right here on WDW News Today. It's just going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what comes out of that show. Yeah.
Pontificating. I don't know what we need to do our next break, but I just want to reach out to Super Bowl champions.
We're doing both these.
They wanted to know when was our first trips, and I think we talked about that on the night that we didn't have audio for the first 10 minutes. So there's a good chance that happened then. So when was your first trip, and which park were you at?
Yeah, so my first trip was was in '97. And there was the Castle birthday cake was still a thing in '97 there, but the first park we went to. Yeah, the first park was Disney's Hollywood Studios, and the first attraction was the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, followed by Star Tours. That was I remember that very well. How about you?
So, well, can I just give you the follow up? How big? I mean, obviously we are both like uber fans. Were you? I mean, I'm assuming with all of your stuff in the background and the stolen Tiki Room sign. I'm kidding, of course, it's not stolen.
That's right. Yeah.
Huge Disney fan. What was it that made you go there? Just something you had been wanting? You had kind of like always wanted to do.
Well, you know what? It's funny. Before we went in '97, I wasn't a Disney Parks fan, and maybe it's because we live so far away from it. We're not kind of encapsulated in it like that. I was young. I knew about it, and I wasn't like against it or anything. It wasn't anything that I really thought of. So it just didn't matter to me really, So when we were going, I was excited. And as it got closer, I was like, okay, this will be great. This will be cool. And then I started, my parents got us my sister and I, the Burn Bombs book or whatever in '97. And we read that and Tower of Terror and Alien Encounter, and I'm like, I need to go on these, like all these spooky rides, the Haunted Mansion, which I thought was going to be terrifying, and it ended up being much better than I thought. Yeah, it was just so I prepped myself, but I wasn't really super in love with the place yet because I didn't really know what to expect. I'd never been to anything that big before, so it was a big thing when we ended up going, and it was fun, and then I've gone countless times since. Yeah,
it's I think I just love hearing those stories because you were sort of transformed after the trip, as I think so many people are.
Yeah.
But, so many people who go for the first time as adults, are just like, they kind of know what they're getting into, you know what I mean? And I love that you kind of were like all excited about the scary, spooky rides. And now you and I talk about, Haunted Mansion and, kind of these more family attractions. And your first thing was Indiana Jones, which I think still holds up I mean, I'll go see that every time I'm there. You know, it's a great way to take a load off. You know, I was
Totally
lucky
is.
enough.
Yeah.
My family took me, and my parents were both teachers, man. So they didn't have a ton of money. So it took them a while to save up, and we stayed off property, and that's cool. Probably at like Red Roof Inn, whatever was on International Boulevard, and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it was 4th of July, dude, and it was hot and it was packed. But I tell you, man, that day changed my life. I mean, it wasn't even the castle, but you're like a little 7, 8-year-old boy, man, and those fireworks just they completely like changed my life. And ever since then, ever since then, I was like, there is nothing like this. Is like walking into a dream as a kid, and it's kind of cool, like growing up with it, and the way your relationship with Disney evolves, and you start to get excited about how things work, and even the marketing and the stories behind things. So there was our first trips, Super Bowl champs.
Very, very cool. Yeah. And I just see that Super Bowl champs replied and said, I was 4 when I first went. I don't remember any specific rides, but I remember the Yacht and Beach Club and meeting characters at the Crystal Palace. Right on. Yeah. That's
Yes,
that's a good time. Crystal
Was
Palace.
it always
Magic
Winnie the
Kingdom.
Pooh at Crystal Palace? Because I swear when I was there, it's Winnie the Pooh now. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
wrong
At
on
least
that?
last time I was in there. Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's been like that for years now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was lucky enough. My parents took me to the contemporary. I personally think every little boy just wanted to stay at the contemporary. I was not able to stay at the contemporary, but they took me to the character breakfast at the contemporary, and I mean, it was just so super cool. The monorails going through as you're like having
Yeah.
waffles, man. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to hear everybody's. Someday if we get the phone line working, man, I'd love to hear some people's kind of first those first trips, man. I mean, you just never forget them. So
Totally. What did let's see. Michael says I've never been to a sit-down restaurant at Disney. Highly recommend it. Let's recommend him a couple to go to. Where would you suggest Michael goes?
Mike, am I gonna ruin this? Are you gonna disagree with this? Because you and I both we love the theater, man, a little bit, and I say hands down the greatest just for your money. You get the show and you get that finger licking good chicken and ribs, man. The hoop-de-doo review, man. Gotta go.
Yeah, I knew you were going with that. Yeah.
My mom actually got picked to go up and be the can dancer. So
Oh yeah,
being like a little kid, dude, and your mom gets picked to be the can dancer. That was my first trip there. I've been countless times. If you have an annual pass, they give you a little bit of a break on the thing, but you get, and the tip is included. Beer and wine are included. Adults, it's after 9. I can say that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's a great thing. So that's my go-to. What about yourself?
Oh gosh, there's so many places, and you know what? We were doing these shows 7 days a week on WDW News Today, right here on YouTube, completely live and interacting with people. And so much of the discussion this week has been about food, and it's just I'm always listening and watching when I can while I'm at the day job, but it's like around lunchtime and I'm just getting so hungry listening to all these different options, but I'm reminded of so many good options as well. I've always enjoyed the buffet at Boma at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Cool.
It's just a good kind of unique variety, but also at Animal Kingdom Lodge is Sanaa, and that is a spectacular dinner. The bread service, I know Tom Corliss is a huge fan of this as well, and I am too. My wife and I love it. The bread service, the non-bread service at Sanaa is just is fantastic, and something we would always go and get. And we've been there multiple times on all of our trips. I think we've been there every single time on our trips down there in the last 5 or 6 years. So I would recommend Sanaa. And then if you got the beautiful Animal Kingdom Lodge right there. So go out and see some animals. You can go out the back of the lobby there and check out some giraffes or whatever might be in the savannah. It's just gorgeous, even to sit in the lobby or go to the lounge that's kind of halfway, but it's like down the stairs a little bit, the like waterfall lounge. I forget the name of it, but there's a lounge there halfway through. It's awesome.
That is such a fun if I may say, I mean, it's a little bit off the beaten path, right? I think a lot of people don't always think about, even though we both just did kind of 2 hotel resort dining places, but that is like a little off the beaten path. And honestly, like you just made me have to go there. I've had the bread service only one time, and Leah would love it. Oh man, I know she's never been there. And she loves that type of food. I mean, that is amazing. But we both, and I just saw 2 people. So 2 people just said Trails End. Antonio said Trails End, and Super Bowl Champions actually said Trails End. Is that
no kidding?
That's Wilderness, yeah? Am I?
Yeah, that's that Wilderness. Yeah, no, that's Wilderness.
Did they change that into character dining? I thought that was happening because I used to love that place as well. They had bison.
Oh, maybe I haven't been there.
They had a bison something. And I thought it was great. Fort Wilderness. What's Fort Wilderness? Okay. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
The bison thing. Yeah, because that was all themed, kind of. The great outdoors. Skipper Canteen. Right, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, I mean, you got to get there. I believe who asked that question, and they were talking about going.
That was Michael. Michael asked that one. Yeah. So there's so many more. Mickey's Backyard Barbecue. Yeah, that's the character dining there. That's right. There's someone's recommending the Skipper Canteen. Adam said the Plaza as well. Yeah. So many good options. And you know what? Like if you're not staying on Disney property, if you're just kind of going in and out, go to Disney Springs and a load of options, great options for you there as well. Can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Boathouse is fantastic. And all the resorts, just all the hotels on Disney have so many good options. I'm getting hungry and I had dinner.
Making me miss so much, I have to tell you, and I'm just so thankful that so many people are here because, like, I think I said this last week, this is the hour for me to just put my phone away. I don't want to know anything about the quarantine and the virus or anything along those lines, man. It's just like, remind me of all that great food I ate. And I mean, quite frankly, the money I spent there, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we're
I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second here.
Sure.
I have to interrupt you for 1 second. We have Amy who has just donated via the super chat to WDW News Today. Amy, thank you so much. $10. That is awesome. And she said, I must say, I miss the park so much. I might just be willing to eat at Tony's. Dude, that's a good question. Do you miss the park so much that you'll only eat at Tony's? Amy, thank you so very much. That is so appreciated. We absolutely love that. You're amazing. Thank you. And anyone else wants to donate to the super chat as well, feel free. Just hit the little money symbol there. It's below the chat in YouTube. Any donation helps. We have a lot of reporters and a lot of stuff going on here at WDW News Today. Any dollar amount counts. So thank you so much for that. And of course, you can also be a WIGS member, patreon.com/WDW News Today, or WDWNT, I should say. You get exclusive access to bonus shows, live shows, and content, all this cool stuff. So become a WIGS member. It's at patreon.com/WDWNT. And Amy, once again, my hat off. I don't have a hat on, but I could. Hang on.
Can somebody go get a hat? Yeah, go get a hat.
There, I got. So this is the first ever hat. Let's see. There we go. There we go. So, Amy, this one is for you. Tip of the Mad Hatter hat. Thank you very much for that that super chat. Thank you so much. That's awesome. And actually, so this is the very first souvenir I ever bought at Disney parks. I need to sit lower for people to see this. There we go.
Oh yeah, I was going to say.
There we go.
That is the first souvenir that you ever purchased at Disney parks.
It sure is. Yep. There we go.
Hat. Nice hat, Harry. Yeah. God, if you actually would take up the whole frame with that hat.
I know. I'm like, hang on. Let's see. Okay.
No,
there we go.
You're like you're like a third face, 2/3 hat.
Yeah. So it's just going to be the hat there. I love it. Perfect. All right. I guess I'll just sit like this the whole show now.
No, that's all right. It's okay.
Hey, I hope you're listening to End Tunes, everyone in the YouTube chat, because Tapestry of Nations is on right now. It's going to be on for a couple more minutes. I need to sit up. Hang on.
Yeah,
this isn't working.
Yeah, you got to get you got to breathe from your whole the diaphragm. You got to have sit like a singer. Sit like a singer.
Yeah, that's just it, right? It's right from the diaphragm. That's like going back to broadcast school for both of us here. For those who don't know, we also do segments on the radio on WDWN. That is why I'm saying you should be listening to the music right now. So there was an issue, Jeff. Some people were saying that the volume was too low. This is what I was afraid of. We're gonna figure this out. We're going to figure this out later because there's no point right now. But I have some questions to ask some people to figure this out. Yep.
Yeah. I could probably even turn up the gain on it if that will help. But I understand what you're
possibly. There is an issue because it's coming from a speaker. It's not coming direct from the computer. This is a whole funny system we got going on here. But I'm going to do one really, really quick here.
By the time the 50th comes, we are going to be
Give me 1 second. I'm going to do one here myself. Hang on 1 sec. All right, 1 sec. Okay. Tapestry of Nations here on WDWNT on your Monday evening. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Cosmic Chris Reid along with Jeff Melcars. You can watch us, youtube.com/WDWNT. Huge shout outs to Amy for donating in the super chat just a few minutes ago, $10. Thank you so much, Amy. That means a lot to us. And of course, you can become a super chat member, chat with us and click the little $sign. You can also go to patreon.com/WDWNT if you want to donate that way as well. Music from Illuminations pre-show coming up right now. We will go to Phantasmic on WDWN. And there we go.
Did you hit the post? Swear now.
I think so. I hope so.
Okay, perfect.
There we go. And I'm back.
All right.
I'm back.
People were concerned.
I'm sure people were super worried that I was gone for a week too.
I think we had a Barbara come in. Antonio made Dole Whip back to the.
Tony made Dole Whip. Okay, wait. Antonio made Dole Whip. Awesome. How did it turn out? I want to know how it turned out.
Me too.
Because we were talking about that Dole Whip or the churro. Which one are you going to make first? And the consensus seems to be Dole Whip. But let us know in the chat.
Don't you need some kind of like ice? I mean, look, man, I fall asleep to chops. Don't you need some device to make that happen?
I don't know.
Recipe.
I mean,
like
I think Dole Whip has like three ingredients, 3 recipes, 3 ingredients.
Recipe. I'm gonna figure this out.
And I'm sure the churro is more involved. And people, talk about the churro being better in Florida being better in California over it is in Florida. And a lot of people say it's because of the water quality from Florida to California.
Have you ever noticed? We're going a little off script here because I know you wanted to bring up something else, but you gotta re-tease that this or that. But the water in Florida, man, people, it's not great.
No, it's not. It's not. Every time I'm just like, do I buy a $4 water or do I have a sip at one of these terrible fountains? It's it's like I don't know which one I want to do. But I usually end up either plugging my nose and having a drink or just dipping into my snack credits and taking a bottle of water.
Well, it's very funny. I'm sorry, by the way, if I looked a little distracted. I live very close to the Federal Reserve Building in Atlanta. If anybody wants to come and rob me, good luck. And pretty sure I just heard some machine gun fire. So that is
really
weird. Anyways, yes, let's get back to Dole Whip and the bad tasting water of.
If you got to run, you let us know. But
not something that would be something else. Yeah, somebody check Twitter for me. Anyways, So what I was saying is I agree with you. I mean, you've got to bring the waters in there, but I could totally buy that. It's funny, like I will not drink that water out of like resort. It's just kind of a weird taste to it. I don't know. It's in the middle of a swamp, right? So I'm going to give. Well, yeah, I probably would give Dole Whip to the West Coast on that one. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. Amy says it stinks, and I don't know if she's still talking about Tony's or the water.
She's talking about Tony's, the water, or my 20-second diatribe about machine gun fire outside. I don't know. I agree with you. Yeah. It does stink. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Now I got to be. I would ask Siri, why does it stink? Why does Florida water stink?
Yeah, there
Why
you
does
go.
it taste funny? I think it's sulfur. Yeah. Yeah. Sulfur.
And there's the sulfur. Yeah.
Taste. Yes. And which is
I believe
unfortunate because like on a hot summer day, the best park, and this used to be like the best part of and a weird thing that people didn't know, but they would give you, it was Walt's thing, right? Like when Disneyland opened, he was going to give everyone water, and that is a thing that continues today. If you need water, you can go to any stand that serves fountain beverages. They're not just going to just hand you an $87 bottle of water, which is what water might cost when the parks finally reopen again, but I hope not. But you can go to a any place and get a cup of ice with water in it. So that dates back to the day of Disneyland opening.
So just to clarify, Amy says the water and Tony's both stink.
Okay, thank you very much, Amy. Appreciate that. Okay.
Oh man, just a big shout out to Tom and WDW News Tonight. All the Tony's jokes, it always gets me. I love them. It's so funny. And there was a sketch where he dressed up as Tony and he was like trick or treating and putting spaghetti in the bags, and it was ridiculous. And it's just so funny. There's so many talented people on News Tonight. The whole team is just it's phenomenal. It's so good.
I love that Amy made the Tony's joke and had never eaten at Tony's. That's my favorite part of the whole.
She never ate. Oh,
I've never even eaten at Tony's, which makes it even better.
I have. I mean,
it's not
I think we did it. Yeah, it was. I guess it was the only reservation we could get. I don't know. This was quite a few years ago now, but not going back there.
Let me just show you one thing that I have in my freezer, okay? Here, look.
Oh, he's going somewhere. What's going on here? He's getting something. It's like a radioactive couch. Hey, if you're listening or watching in the YouTube chat, make sure you tune in to WDWNtunes.com. We are playing Disney park music. We've made a playlist for you. Hope you're enjoying it there as well.
Does this look like somebody who's? Does this look like I'm gonna complain about Tony's? you see what I'm saying? That's a 3-minute microwave pizza, Amy. Come on. Come on. You think I'm not going to eat at Tony's when that place opens?
So look, they just released Walt's Chili. Right, they got Dole Whip and they got the churros, and now they got Tony's Pizza right there. Jeff Belcar's got the recipe.
I've got the secret. This actually will thaw out in about 15 seconds, so let me put it back. I'll be right back.
Michael says that's better than Tony's. Yep. Probably. That's amazing. Yeah. Can't get enough of Tony's jokes. I'm sorry. That's too good. That's too good. He's going to come back eating the pizza. Watch this. Maybe not. Hey, we got that poll going on. Dole Whip or churro. Let us know which one you would make first, or if you have made them, or if you've made both of them. I think I'll make the Dole Whip first. Mm-hmm.
Did I just hear you say somebody when I walked away that said that actually tastes better than Tony's?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I'm still eating there. That's all I know. But anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Alyssa also said that's
got you.
Better than Tony's. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. That's good. I like it. So we were talking about the first time at Disney, and I mentioned that it was like the Stunt Spectacular was my first attraction. Jeff, do you remember your first attraction at Disney parks? Which one you went to? Yeah. Okay.
I actually do remember this, and it is still it's funny because we were going to talk about this will be a little pre-tease for if the parks ever reopen. But again, imagine you already mentioned the Haunted Mansion. So 7 or 8-year-old me is going. It's 4th of July, one of the busiest days of the year, and I demand that we must ride this thing, the Haunted Mansion, because, you know, I figured it was haunted and it was terrifying. And it wasn't. It wasn't terrifying at all. Though I will tell you, man, the first time, if you're below double digits and that hanging stretching room thing happens, I mean, that's pretty terrifying. And I'm sure I screamed like a small child. And I'm in touch with my small child self, but that was the first attraction, and it still is the must ride every time I go. I have been on that at least 3 times in a row. Like on those times, those gracious times when there's no lines, absolutely over and over again. It is a standout.
Totally. Yeah. No. Well, hey. So this was a shirt that I picked up a couple of years ago. If you can see it, it's the Haunted Mansion collaboration with Star Wars. It's got it's the Forest Moon of Endor. It looks like the Hitchhiking Ghosts. I don't know if you can actually see it.
Yeah. Can you pull it up over the mic? So I just want to see.
I gotta pull my chair up again. Remember, I had that hat on, and I can't.
Oh yeah, you were down.
Hang on.
You were all.
Hang on. Let's.
Oh man, did you buy that at the store that you buy everything at? I mean, I need to take out like a house loan every time. I try not to walk into that store every time. Are you kidding me? The reticular freaking photos.
Oh
yeah. Everything.
I got it at Tatooine Traders. Yeah, Tatooine Traders a couple of years ago at Star Tours there. Yeah. I don't know if they sell them anymore, but it was kind of a cool collaboration shirt. Yeah. Love the Haunted Mansion. What did Angelina just said? My family and I had 4 hours in the park and got accidentally lost in Robinson Family Treehouse for about an hour.
Okay.
That was my first Disney experience. How did that happen? How did you get?
That's long.
Isn't there only one way?
Yeah. Cast members must have been really screwing with her. That was her first experience.
No, you go back down these stairs. No, you go back up these stairs. No, you go back down and then come back up.
No, you didn't. Don't worry about it.
4 hours?
Yeah, that's absurd. I saw Disney Fan I feel like Walt, if he was here to read this chat room, because this is what he would be doing on a Monday night, he'd be listening to us about his place and how bad Tony's is. But says first attraction was the Disney World Railroad, and I gotta say that actually, for symbolism, I think you may win. I think you might win on that, just because of how much you loved that thing.
Totally. Yep, I agree. What else is there? Constance sometimes comes out for the Halloween party. Yeah. Well, they've added her in the not so scary Halloween party and the Boo to You parade. She's floating around there now. Yeah.
Has anyone done the villains thing? Anyone on here? I'll ask in the chat room.
Which one are you talking?
The special ticketed. They started it last summer, and they had already announced dates for this summer. The Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Well, Disneyland had the villains after hours or villains after dark or after hours. Yeah. Villains Nights or whatever it was called, but it's been canceled, postponed, whatever this year. You know what? So I did one of those. It was in 2012 after it was after the Tower of Terror 13 miler or whatever that race was, and I wasn't doing the race, but you could buy a hard ticket like $50-$60 to go in to the studios that night after hours. Again, hard ticket event, I guess, unless you're in the marathon or you buy a ticket. And then the studios was open till 4 a.m. And I have a picture of my phone at the time walking out of the studios at 3:59 a.m. And it was like Vader, Gaston, Maleficent, the Queen. They were all out, both versions of the Queen. It was all these kind of like rare photo ops all at once, all down Sunset Boulevard. It was really, really cool.
That was, I swear that was the time we were almost going to meet, because I think they only did that race.
Yeah.
That was the time. And I was like, I know we almost did, because it was like 17,000 degrees that night. Right. Do you remember what year this is?
Oh yeah.
It's
2012. 2012.
I was living in South Florida at the time. And I went up, and it was October, I believe. And so it should not be that high. And they kind of canceled it because they were doing all the stuff with Hollywood Studios, but I mean, it was way hotter than it was supposed to be. And yeah, my parents ended up coming in and meeting me there, and then we just didn't hook up. But Drew is talking about that too. But so they now they do a villains after hours at Magic Kingdom, and they did it last summer. And I wanted to know if people thought that was worth it.
Yeah.
I always think the Halloween party is worth it, whereas I don't think the Christmas party is worth it for the money. I mean, you're talking about like basically, you're basically talking about $100 here. You know what I mean? And
totally.
I just think the Boo to You parade is worth seeing. It's the only parade I'll see both run throughs, how they do it twice. So
same. Yep. That's me as well. Yeah. Or sometimes I'll go and do some of the rides that might not have a big line, but I will have no problems watching that one twice in an evening. It's fantastic. Speaking of the villains and characters, I think maybe next week on the show we talk about our character experiences, and you can think of your favorite character experiences and interactions and how that's been. Because I can think of a few good ones, but you know, they have those special events that have rare characters, right? So there's some of those characters, you know, Darkwing Duck comes out once every 10 years or something like that. So we can think about that and talk about that next week in the YouTube chat here and on NTunes. And speaking of NTunes, I should probably get on there for a second.
Yeah, why don't you hit it, brother?
Okay, 1 second. So if you're watching in the YouTube chat, this is the backside of radio where we will show you how we do the magic of NTunes. Hang on 1 second. Here we go. Illuminations, Reflections of Earth pre-show music that is called Our Life here on WDWN. Thank you so much for the time. I'm Chris Reid. Along with Jeff Melcars, we are talking on YouTube, youtube.com/WDWNT. Make sure you catch us there as well. Well, we love interacting. We're talking all things Disney, Disney parks, special events, villains. We're going to be talking about characters next week, so keep that one in mind as well, okay? We have music coming up from Indiana Jones Adventure out in Disneyland. And up next is music from Muppet Vision 3D, area music that is. It's called I'm Gonna Always Love You, right here on WDWN.
That was very Casey Kasem of you, by the way. I liked that. Almost sounded like a long distance dedication.
That one there?
Yes, it did. It's good.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, so Disney fan actually is answering kind of what a Halloween party is better. All you get with the villains is free popcorn. I do love me some free popcorn though, Disney fan.
Mm-hmm.
Ice cream and soda. But so and again, if Drew has been there as well, like you were saying, you know, I mean, some people do these races because there are those photo ops. Like you're talking about the photo ops.
Yeah.
People treat the photo ops, Chris, like they do that awesome shirt that I want to send someone to steal from your house. But you know, like these kind of once in a lifetime or one pressing of shirts or pins. I mean, everything at Disney is collectible, including and sometimes even more so these character kind of experiences. And that's half the reason half the people do some of these run Disney races.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. It's a good opportunity to meet those characters, to see and it's not just the characters, but they got like a little set around it too. So you know, if you got if you got Darth Vader or something, you got like this Star Wars kind of background as well, like a whole set. Now you don't see the highway going by or the other runners. It looks like you're just there with him, and that's it. Wild. And I think that's that's an extra element of cool in there as well. Somebody said
you didn't do the race on you didn't do the race, but you bought the after party, because I can't remember if they did this.
Yeah,
you'd think that they would have, but they always pull Jack Sparrow's boat out, man, and it's freaking huge.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Just sitting on the side of the road, and you're like, I mean, how do you not stop and take a picture of that?
So cool. It's so cool.
Again? Is that Amy again?
Oh my goodness, Amy again. Yeah, Amy. You're a superstar. Thank you. Another $10 in the super chat right here. She says, I generally go to the parties for the short wait time. I do DAH pretty frequently. I haven't done the villains party, but was in the park as they were setting up a month ago. Photo ops looked cool. Yeah, no kidding. That's yeah. Which of the photo ops would you have you done, or she?
Yeah.
They were
Amy.
they were setting them up a month ago, right? I guess, yeah, that's right. Because I think there was supposed to be a race. I don't think it happened, right?
No, I think they cancel it like seemingly, and that would have been that would have been the princess, right? Did they cancel the princess? That would have been in February. Because they have January, February, and then I feel like the Star Wars is in April. But yeah, I mean they were kind of I know the Paris one was canceled I think first. But Amy, yeah, this is why. So Amy's got a lot of intel. Amy should record. We've got to give some people some clear way to kind of record maybe some messages into their phone and email them to you or something so that we can listen to what these people
Yeah.
say.
Yep. Would love to do that. Amy, thank you so much for the super chat. And if anyone else, hey, this show is done in like 7 minutes. That went by really, really quick. But you know what? You still got time to donate in the super chat. Thank you, Amy, so much for that twice. That means so much to us because we have so many reporters and writers and web team and graphics and the radio stuff and everything. And any donation is super helpful. And Amy, that you have made our night. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. You can donate again in the super chat, or you go to patreon.com/WDWNT. You can become a WIGS member. That's the WDWNT Inner Globe Society. All this bonus content, all these other shows and features, it's totally worth it. So go and do that. Patreon.com/WDWNT. And Amy, my hat's back there, but hang on.
Yeah, I think she actually did that again because she just wanted to see the hat again. Let me switch.
She just wanted me to say tip my hat once again. The big.
No, you're taking up too much of the frame.
It's just gonna be the hat for the rest of the show now.
Sign off and just put the hat there. Yes, thank you so much, Amy. That is really awesome. That's fantastic. And seriously, all of those great things that Chris said, and you can definitely, not have to listen to us at all. But thank you.
Yeah. There's so many things you can be doing in this whole lockdown, whatever weird situation we're going through, and it means a lot to not only Jeff and I, but all of the staff at News Today that you're joining us here and listening on NTunes as well. This has it's been so much fun. Next week, well, we still got a few minutes left here, but next week we're going to be talking characters, I think, and some of the coolest character interactions you've had with, whether it's at a hard ticket event or maybe you saw someone at a hotel, stuff like that. I mean, their characters are everywhere, right?
Characters are fantastic everywhere. Seriously.
Yeah.
Can I bring up something that you said you wanted to talk about? Do you have another? I mean, do you have to do another break, or because something you wanted to break? 6 minutes left.
I should probably do one more before we wrap this up. Yeah.
Well, here, let me do the thing so everybody can think about it, and then you do the break, and then we'll see what people say. But you had a great question earlier when you hit me up first thing this morning, which was like, okay, when the parks do open, what is the first thing that you will go to? Park rope drop. You're not running like a crazy person, stampeding people, and you don't even. Please don't say, Star Wars. We all know everybody wants to do Star Wars, but something, like is it? It could be the railroad for me. I don't know. So what is that first attraction that everybody is going to want to do as soon as there's rope drop? And I agree with you, Michael. So you stole mine, but go ahead, go do your job, Chris.
All right, we're gonna record one last little segment on NTunes here. We're gonna be going into Captain EO, so make sure you tune into that. Okay, Jeff, I'll be right back. Okay, here we go, and area music from Pandora at Animal Kingdom, relaxing you into your evening here on WDW Tunes. A big shout out once again to everyone for interacting with us on the chat on YouTube. Huge thanks to Amy for another $10 donation to WDW News Today. Thank you so much for that. We always appreciate that. Thanks for being a super chat member. Honestly means the world to us, and everyone else can do the same or become a WIGS member, patreon.com/WDWNT. Jeff and I will be back next week once again, talking Disney characters and meet and greets and all that good stuff. We'll hang out in the YouTube chat for a couple more minutes, so stay tuned that way. If you want to join us, you have a couple minutes to say hi. Right now, I leave you with one from the 80s, and I guess the 2000s too, because they brought it back for a while. Captain EO, we are here to change the world on WDW Tunes. All right.
We are here to
Good day, sir.
Yeah.
You know who's going to change the world? Who is changing the world? Amy's changing the world with that
Amy
donation.
is changing the world. Thank you so much for that. I got to tell you, you just brought back that Captain EO. Were you able to see it when they brought it back, or you didn't visit?
Yeah, I would go in there more than anyone else would probably want me to go in there. Yeah, and when it left, my wife was so happy. She is like excellent. She was thrilled that it was done. Yeah.
She had some skin in the game, and she probably was the people who was like, I don't care what moves into this thing, just get Captain EO the heck out. She actually probably petitioned for the Pixar shorts. That wasn't even in the plan.
Yeah,
she just was like,
yeah, she probably did. Amy said in the chat, I'm a semi-smoker, and if the smoking sections were still there, the first thing I would do when the parks reopen is grab a coffee and go to the old smoking section by Big Thunder Mountain. I know exactly where that is. I don't smoke, but I know where it is. Big Thunder, yeah, I know that one. Adventureland,
I think they turned it into a character meeting spot, didn't they?
They could have, yeah, maybe.
I think they did.
Yeah. Stitch says, keeping fingers crossed Spaceship Earth refurb gets pushed back. I'll be going to that first. Yeah, no kidding. I know. I think a lot of people are kind of scared about that one. My name is Stitch just said that about Spaceship Earth.
Yes. I'm
it's going to be
how any of this is going to affect any of the things that they've been building. And I mean, you know, the rumor, I think we had brought up somebody on here, somebody actually, I read about it on here, was about the Wreck-It Ralph maybe taking the Stitch. Is that more than a rumor? That's not confirmed or anything, right?
Well, they're just demolishing the building right now. I don't know if the Wreck-It Ralph thing was confirmed or not. I mean, yeah, there was certainly talk about it just a little while ago. I don't know if that's just speculation or not. Right. I can't think off the top of my head right now. So, yeah. But it would be cool. I guess it would be cool to see. I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
well,
I am, I think, one of about 6 people who didn't mind that Stitch attraction. I'm not gonna lie, and I mean, you can throw all the hate my way, guys. Go ahead, I can take it. Even though I said it was an only child earlier in the podcast, but I didn't.
Did you go?
I didn't.
But did you like Alien Encounter better or worse? Or
I loved Alien Encounter. I mean, I might have been one of 12 people that liked that one, though. I don't know. I thought that thing was great. And I remember, and I mean, I actually don't even, you know, it was, didn't Iger was the one that went on that and said it wasn't scary enough, right? I don't think I'm making this up. I could be making it all up.
This Stitch, well, Alien Encounter went from like terrifying to less terrifying after like the first few months or something. Yeah, it was less terrifying because people were just too freaked and they toned it down.
I think I only saw
like a short
version. Yeah,
same, and it was still terrifying.
Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, like, that's one of those things where, regardless of what is going on, if you're in pitch black, man, I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, that room got dark. Oh, yeah. Even when it was just Stitch, you know, lots of crying kids in that. A lot of crying kids. I personally feel like maybe you're doing something right. I don't know. I'm a little sad about it. But Wreck-It Ralph is fantastic. It's funny the way they use him and that whole, you know, that whole franchise, the Wreck-It Ralph franchise. It was funny because, like, on the projection at the castle where he's like, I'm going to wreck it, and he wrecks the castle. And I was like, wow. Because at that point, when they were doing that, they hadn't really shown him so much love. And then the sequel came out, and now I find it funny. It's like, how hard is it to get a Wall-E attraction, for the love of God? I guess it did take 10 years for Incredibles, but
yeah, I would love that.
I think a Wreck-It Ralph attraction could be all right, though it does kind of go against the theming. I think that's what you were saying. Like, does it not go against the theming of Future World?
Yeah, it just it doesn't really fit. To Tomorrowland. I mean, I get the whole year in the computer arcade, but it feels more Interventions-esque. I know Interventions is gone, but Amy was saying, it's just going to be the same room and reskinned animatronics with a Wreck-It Ralph overlay. Can you imagine? So it's like Ralph's going to be in the tube and he escapes or something like that. I think though with the demolition, they'll keep the building, but they'll gut it and hopefully throw something else in there. I mean, I remember when they had the Timekeeper where Monsters Inc. is, and it's virtually the same as a long, huge queue, and then you got the area where you used to stand and watch Nine Eye and Robin Williams over there, and it's not a huge space, so they're definitely limited. It's not like you can do a dark ride or something like that in there. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Did you, before we get out of here, did you actually answer the question? What is your first attraction when the park opens?
Yeah, Indiana Jones, Epic Stunt Spectacular, followed by Star Tours.
That's no. If the park reopens on Rope Drop, are you just trying to relive your first time?
Oh,
what would your first thing be?
I would go to Disneyland, and I would do Splash Mountain.
Oh, this is a fun show. Okay, all right. We'll talk characters, and then not too far from that, we have to talk Disneyland versus Walt Disney World, or even other parts with their Phantasmics and things like that, and the way the attractions.
Oh my gosh, my wife and I just watched Phantasmic last night at Disneyland, and we watched obviously the video.
I was like, how did you do that?
Yeah, well, we snuck in. No, we didn't.
Wow, they did Phantasmic for you. You've got some juice, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to eat a 3-minute microwave pizza, and you've got Phantasmic showings going. That's amazing.
Do Tony's takeout. Just do Tony's takeout for Tony's here. I guess we got to wrap it up here. We're 5 minutes over.
Yeah.
Hey, huge shout out. Yeah, this went by really, really fast this week. Shore and Force had Chris has connections. Well, Tony's my connection. Paul, Alyssa, I'm just reading the names as they come in. James, hey, huge shout out, big thank you, round of applause to Amy for the 2 super chats. Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate that. Thank you for participating and interacting with us. Thank you all for doing that. We'll be back next week talking Disney characters and your favorite meet and greets. Next week, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will also mix it with some music on N-Tunes. We always make a cool playlist for you to interact with, and we'll get both of us on there at some point and figure something out for next week. I think we're improving this. None of us.
We're trying.
We didn't glitch out. We didn't glitch out this week that I know of. So that's a plus. All right.
Baby steps.
I think that's. Yeah, baby steps. Yeah, one step at a time. Till the spires, as Adam says. Jumbo, thank you so much. For Jeff Melkars, I'm Cosmic Chris Reid. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Have a magical evening, and we'll talk to you once again next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Have a great evening.